What is the difference between a Ventus Blue 5S, and it is the blue comes down here and gets nice and dark. This has been pulled out of a TaylorMade club, but I have changed the adapter so we can have a go with it on a Callaway. But it is the Ventus Blue 5S, stock shaft, no Velocore. I want to see whether it's worth paying that big old upcharge for the Velocore 5S, all blue. So let's use a concept from one of my own videos. Let's hit it away from the water, shall we? So if I get my speed a little bit earlier, get my chest a little bit further back, my sternum pointing back. Speed, I'm going to try and get the same point with every swing. Oh, off the top of the face. Okay, so without skying it. So it's a solid feeling shaft, even in the 5S. 50 grams stiff. It's got a more stable tip section. That's what the Velocore is all about. So it's got less twisting on this bottom part. So when you hit it off center with a Velocore shaft, the theory is that you have less deflection on the off center hit, which, to be fair, mixed up with the club face technology on the Callaway, is quite a lovely combination. Swing is out of sync. 292 carry though. Whoa. Let's go with the stock Ventus, -1 neutral. I'm going to use that same setting for both shafts to see what it feels like on the first hit. There's a lovely shape. This does feel weaker as a shaft. It does feel like it's got more give in it. It does feel like it's got a bit more movement. That didn't quite feel as solid, but it was a very good shot. It was a very good shot indeed. Same flight again, very nice. So we can get these stock shafts to perform beautifully. And then that one just had a little bit more shape to it. But it's the same sort of pattern, it's the same sort of deviation that we get. And let's go back into the Velocore. Now I am warmed up. Get that one out. Get that one in. -1 neutral, same settings. I've got the same golf ball, I've got the same club head, I've got the same settings. And I've got the same sized grip. That feels so much stronger. Now I hit that low on the face and I've still maintained a lot of that ball flight and pulled it a yard. Same sort of shot. Arguably not as much curve as the other one that felt very similar in the stock shaft. Nice. And if I hit a bad shot with the Velocore, I kind of have that feeling underlying it all that's like that was definitely my fault. Sometimes with the stock shaft I feel like, could it have just fallen out of place because the shaft's a bit weaker, not quite as structured? I don't know, what do you think? Now even 3 against 3, we've got a tighter dispersion on the Velocore. Let's go back to the stock for 2 more golf balls. I'm using the same tee heights. This is about a pink tee if you use graduated tees. Stock shaft. Oh, my machine is playing up now and then, which is very frustrating. Gets up and out there. That's not looking bad at all. Scrape the fairway. It's healthy. It is decent. Maybe a bit low on the club face. I didn't quite get as much out of it compared to a similar shot in the Velocore, but hopefully it's not a biased comment. And it's good. Fairway again. 5 on 5. Let's have a little look. Now another factor in the benefit of these more expensive Velocore Plus shafts is that you've got much more choice in profile. So you've got the blue profile, red and the black. So you've got lower, mid and higher flight shots from 3 different profiles of shaft. You've also got all the different weights in there. You've got like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got a bigger spectrum of weights. You've got a bigger spectrum of choice. You've got a bigger spectrum of flexes in the Velocore range. in the stock shafts, we don't have as much choice. So that is another factor. So over 5 shots, we do have a very similar dispersion ring between the two. I do quite often find a slightly tighter dispersion on the Velocore, but on this instance, 5 on 5, we are very similar. We're looking at 284 against 288, 305 against 311. The differences between these are the 4 yards of variance and the 2 yards of variance. We are just slightly tighter on the Velocore Plus. We've got a little bit more spin on the stock on the top, and we've got a slightly higher launch. We've got more ball speed on the Velocore Plus. We've got a couple of mile an hour there, 1.8 mile an hour faster ball speed. And then that 5 on 5 difference there. Peak height 92 on the stock against 83. So we've got higher flight with the stock shaft. We've got lower launch, lower spin, lower peak height on the Velocore Plus, so maybe a little bit more stable in the wind. So it's not like, oh my god, they're 30 yards longer than the stock shafts. The stock shafts are still good. I could still use a stock shaft and get the ball to fly fairly well. I've just got that little bit more tamed flight, and maybe we could go slightly heavier in the stock shaft or stiffer in the stock shaft to get it to match what the Velocore does. But then the benefit in the Velocore is that we can go lighter and easier and still maintain that stability. Now, it's not for everyone to spend that much money on just the shaft alone, or that much upcharge on that shaft when you're buying a new club, because it can get the new drivers up to something like £700 to have it with one of those shafts, which is a bit of a punt. But for myself, I've used Velocore for a while and I won't go back to a stock shaft because of those subtle differences, those just slightly cleaner data points on every level. I just want to know that I'm hitting a bad shot because I hit a bad shot, not because the shaft wasn't as stable as another shaft that I could have chosen. But yeah, what do you think? Would you entertain spending that extra money on a shaft like this, or would you stick to the stock one because it's all right? Or are you a shaft pervert like me and you just want the nuts of a shaft in your driver?